to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, everybody. Boys' Day today. Thank you very much. It's nice to be here. And now is what we do. Today we're gonna talk about a random subject. And on Tuesdays we have a more spirits book conversation. So anyway, I'd like to say hi to our friends in Ireland, in UK, in Portugal, in Brazil, in America. I hope you are okay and no problems at all. You know, life is beautiful, which is, by the way, is the topic of today. What are you doing with the gifts life is giving you? So what are you doing with the gifts? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm pretty sure Wanderley is well prepared for that. And he giving us a very good topic. You know? Yeah. Someone needs to do their job, you know, my friend. Someone needs. So, but before that, since you're gonna give us this beautiful lesson today, Wanderley, I'm gonna do the initial prayer.
Okay.
Okay. So let's raise up our thoughts and make connection with superior spirits, with our mentors of this program, mentors of Kardec Radio, mentors of Spiritist Society of Ireland, and ask them this moment to giving us all the energies, support we needed to move on, to face all the challenges ahead of us. And if it's possible, we ask for the same energy be with our friends in the hospitals, on the street without shelter, alone at home, those who are thinking about suicide. So be it. Amen. Okay, and we have already a reaction here. Our friend Don, interesting topic, very timely. Yes, of course. It is, my friend. And the question remains here. What are you doing with the gifts life is giving to you? And perhaps you are asking to yourself now, is life giving me gifts? So I put a period here and say, Wanderley.
Okay.
What are you doing with the gifts life is giving to you?
But before you ask it, if is life giving any gifts to us? So before, maybe you have to try to reply or to grasp a little bit about this question. We think like this. Sometimes in the life that we are having, we don't see the beauty surrounding us. We don't see that a lot of times a challenge, perhaps, it's a chance in order to us to improve. We are not seeing things with good eyes, basically. That's why I believe, especially in the time that we are living now in the COVID time, we tend to be negative. And that's something which reflects, on ourselves, on what we say at work with our partner, with things that we do. But then we are forgetting that I know some people that are struggling quite a lot. Yes, it's true, especially in some places. But even those people, they have perhaps they have their gifts which they are not seeing. Life is one of them. Some people they die with corona. Yes, of course, some people they died with corona. We know that. But we are trying to see here everything with open eyes, a bit more open than the usual. Trying to see that each one of us, we are giving what we need in order to live this reincarnation. We talk about reincarnation because we believe in reincarnation. So since we believe in reincarnation and we believe in God, in this cosmic God, not in a religious God, we can say that this God, who is a loving Father, is never going to give to me a difficult life without giving me the tools, or what we can say, gifts here. So replying the first question, yes, we all have different gifts. We all have different tools or talents that life or God is giving to us. What do you think, Stevan?
Well, first of all, first things first. Linda is below her duvet, drinking cocoa, hot cocoa, and she wrote to you, Wanderley. Thank you for your talk about sexual energy last Sunday. Excellent job.
Thank you. Appreciate you, like.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. It was a very good job done. Yes. Well, so what I think, Wanderley, first, we need to figure out that life, we always put the good things or bad things that happen to us on God's hands. Okay? Doesn't matter which God. Okay? No, or divine, or nature, or Mother Earth. I don't know. We just rely our happiness and our sadness to someone higher than us. Most of the case, okay? Most of the case. Let's say the majority of people, okay? And I don't think this is correct, because God, he don't get mad with us. God don't need to forgive us. He cannot get mad with us, because if he get mad with us, we are humanizing God.
Yeah.
If he's got mad with us, he's not God. Come on. There is something beyond him. Okay? If he need to forgive us, it means he got mad with us, he felt annoyed or touched by what we did, and now I forgive you. No, God don't forgive us. God wait for us to wake up. So we needed to figure out these two things first. And once we agreed with that, once we realize that, we see that the good things and bad things that happen to us, it's in our hands. So, and because we choose our trials before our reincarnation, okay? So we choose the actions we're gonna do here based in our free will, even though some people say, I was forced to this, I didn't have an option, or that's what I can do. It's our free will. It's our free will. And it's good to say, because when we are talking about this briefing before here, is something connected to the talent parable. And that's my opinion. That's my first shot here. Let's see what you want to say, guys. Please write to us here. We are talking nonsense here. What do you think? What's the what are you doing with the gifts? So, Wanderley,
Yep.
I don't know. Could you just remind everyone what is the talent parable? Just
Yeah.
a brief.
Like once we think about the parable of the talents, it's quite simple. It's a man who is leaving he's leaving his land, and that man gave 5 talents. Talents, remembering that that time of Jesus could be considered as a coin, so would be something valuable. And then to the other he gave 3, to the other he gave only 1. Once that man comes back, he goes and talks to the first one. The first one said, I know that you like to be investing, we can put it this way. So I invested your 5 talents and I got 5 back. And the master says, oh, you are very good, very good. So you are nice with me with small things, I'm going to give you even more. Goes to the other one. You gave me 3, I sold some things here, bought a few things here, and I gained 3 again. Oh, you are such a nice guy. I gave you only 3, but you were able to make it double for me. And he goes to the other one, gave only 1. And that one, he had one thing that we want to bring here quite a lot. We're going to be discussing, which is fear. Mm-hmm. That man gave to him 1 talent that he could try to buy something cheaper for a smaller amount and try to make it double in the future, could try to invest. We can put it this way. But he was afraid. He was afraid of trying. He took the gift that that man gave to him and said, okay, I'm going to hide that here on the ground. Once he's back, I give back his talents and happy days. And the master wasn't happy. And then Kardec asks in the Spirit's book, in the life that you are living, in this reincarnation that we are living right now, is it enough to only not do evil against the others? And the Spirit say, no chance. You must do the best you can in every possibility, in every situation. And that reminds the parable of the talents, because that man had fear. He didn't want to try to put that talent, that gift that life gave to him, into test. He didn't want to put himself into test. He was the same man as the Kardec asked the spirits. He doesn't want to do any harm to anyone, but also he didn't want to do any good. In that parable, 2,000 years ago, Jesus says to us, all the gifts that God gives to us, we must multiply that. We must flourish in every place that we are placed in. So we are here in Ireland. So should I say to Stevan, at least I'm going to give an example for me and Stevan here. Our crap English here, we should say, hi, Stevan, I'm afraid of talking in front of the camera. I always make mistakes. You know, I don't want to be talking in English about Spiritism. It's too difficult. The terms, they are too difficult. I could say this. Stevan could say that. But instead, at least, we're not saying we are heroes or anything like this, guys. Don't get us wrong. But what we are trying to say is, I was giving this talent. Stevan also, I want to make the best of it, with mistakes or not. And then we have to do the same. We have to do the best we can with what life is giving to us, where life placed us. And if life placed us in a difficult situation, believe me, or believe the Spiritist teachings, life has put you in that difficult situation because life believes that from that difficult situation, you can do much, much more. Life is not put you in there because life doesn't like you, God doesn't like you, as Stevan said. No, it's because you can flourish there, and we can flourish anywhere. But that's the parable of the talents, just trying to be quite simple.
Yes, and well, Don said such a point here, very good point. Wasn't he afraid of his master? How often do we not advance due to our fear? Brilliant, Don. Yeah. You put a very good point here, because the fear, it's our problem. Fear to go ahead, to give this step further. Fear that makes, well, let's say fear makes us paralyzed. We cannot do anything. We cannot move on.
Yeah.
So that fear is something we need to work in ourselves in order to move on. Yeah, he's afraid. Yes, he's afraid to lose. He's afraid, but let's take the risk. You will not learn if you don't take the risk. You will not learn if you go there and find out. And the beauty is you have not 100% sure what you're gonna do is gonna be right or wrong. You may have an idea, you may have a feeling, okay? And this idea, this feeling is based in what? Is based in knowledge you have acquired from past lives, this life, okay? So this is the only thing you need to rely on. But fear is something we need to vanish from our life. I know I do have fears, many fears. I'm not saying it is easy, but we need to work on. Once we are able to identify which fear is paralyzing you, it's better. Like if you hold that seeds, you keep to yourself. It's not a, let's say, forget about the selfishness. We don't talk here about selfishness. You are holding to you because I don't want to lose. Okay? And if you lost everything, you learn a lesson. Holding those, which lesson you learned? Nothing, because you didn't do anything. But if you use that, you lost. Yes, I lost. I lose everything. Oh, I'm so sorry. I screwed up. Yes, you screwed up. Perfect. No problem. You learn. Next time, do this differently. But we need to do something. And the question we are saying here today is, what fears, let me see here. We have a comment here. I think Mona Fernandes, the cave that you fear to enter hold the treasures you seek.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for the complimentation here, Monada. Thank you very much. Yes, that's the point we need to bear in our mind. I am feeling fear. Okay, I'm fear. Okay, I'm afraid of. Okay, you're afraid. Okay, what one? I'm afraid of what? What I can do. Let's bring this to our today's issues. Okay, many people are suffering from anxiety, and anxiety is composed of fear. Okay, and fear for what's gonna happen to the government, fear if I'm gonna lose my job, fear if I gotta get sick, fear if someone who are close to me gonna die. So you have a lot of these fears, okay? And we need to classify these fears like what I can do. Let's say we need to categorize this fear in three steps. Step number one is I can do nothing. I don't have power over it. Like, for example, what's going to happen to the economy? Doesn't matter what you're going to do. You cannot do anything. It's going to happen. So it's not under your control. If it's not under your control, you can do nothing. Come on, don't think about it. Okay, the fear, I have a minimal thing. Oh, I can do one thing here. So if you can do one thing here, for example, I'm afraid to lose my job, but I can do my best in order to keep. Okay, great, do it. Do whatever you can do. And the fear, okay, I can get rid of this fear because I have the power to change. So change it. Do it. Doesn't matter what's gonna happen. Do it. At least you're gonna have one fear less in your list?
But Stevan, sorry, I think what you said, I understand 100% what you said about like we have to try to try to make this fear to go away. But I'm gonna paraphrase and try to rephrase what you said in a way which I believe modern psychology they say to us.
Okay.
What we have to do with fear is not to try to say to ourselves, I don't want to have that fear. Is to more or less to use that fear in our favor. How come? So I have fear of, for example, swimming. What should I do with that fear? I'm going to try to re-signify that fear in my mind. So I'm going to make that fear to give me strength to do something. Maybe not swimming yet, because I'm still a bit scared of swimming. But that fear of swimming is going to make me perhaps do swimming classes. Mm-hmm. That fear of swimming is going to make me learn more about the sea. It's going to make me, I don't know, to research anything about related to swimming. So what modern psychology is saying to us that it's really hard for us to take our fear and make them disappear. But the secret is it's to make them to create a new signification to us, because our fear made us go to the moon. Because we went to the moon because before we left the caves 20, 30,000 years ago, when we used to eat dead animals. And the fear of the other animals made us to learn how to deal with fire, how to create weapons. I'm not saying to create weapons was good, but at the same time, to create a weapon was the way in order to us to be able to send a rocket to the moon. So all the human fears generated us to keep searching. So how do we bring that to our personal life? As we said, if you have fear of something, try to understand, why do I have that fear? What can I do with that fear? Do I have fear to lose my job? I'm going to go work even harder. Do I have to say anything wrong in English? I'm going to even try to study even harder. Do I have fear of becoming fat, whatever? If you don't want to be unhealthy, not judging, but I'm going to try to look after more or less my eating habits. So we have to use fear for that. Because most of the time, we are not able to get rid of this fear. But as Stevan said, we have a huge difference here. That is this fear which makes us to progress, and that is the fear which paralyzed us. That's the fear of the power of the talents. The man was paralyzed. He was afraid of his master, like Don said. The other two guys who invested, they were afraid also, because they were afraid of investing their talents, taking the risks and losing everything, but they didn't. They kept going. So that's what we have to try to do with our lives. Especially at this moment of COVID, we start to become afraid of people. We start to become afraid of going out. Mm-hmm. We start to become afraid of everything. If by any chance, something worse comes in society, because of fear, we start to blame the others. So this fear which paralyzed us always generated us to bad things, never to good things. I don't know if you guys, if it makes some sense, like Monada, she said, that fear, keeps holding us back. We're not going to go inside our cave. We're not going to seek to our personal treasures. If you have fear, we're not going to develop ourselves. And that's what the parable of the talent is about. Us to improve, not as a human being, but as a spirit. That's what I think about the parable anyway.
No, yes, perfect. It is. You got my point. Yeah,
Yeah. I was just trying to,
Yeah. So we need to work this fear. It doesn't mean we need to overcome this fear now. Okay?
Now.
No.
Now it's too fast.
I'm afraid of something. It's not because I'm just listening this conversation here. Tomorrow morning I wake up and say I have no fear.
I'm the best person in the world.
I am fearless. So no, that's not gonna happen. But no, what we are saying here, we have so many incarnations to come. But if we give in this incarnation the first step, it is something. That's what I'm saying. Give it the first step. Like Wanderley said, I don't know, if you're fear of water, you can go to a psychiatrist and do some talks and see if you can overcome this fear, or if you want to start having swimming classes, but at least you will starting to work this fear. Because if you don't work this fear, mainly it is what we need to work on our previous incarnations.
Yep.
Okay, like, I don't want to win. I don't know. I don't want to win the lottery because I'm fear what I'm gonna do with the money. I'm not good with money. I will spend this straight away. As you can see, we know there are a lot of people who won the lottery and they just stay rich for sometimes days or months, and then they become poor again. But if you have this, it means, okay, let's work. Let's make this work for me. Let's use this in my favor. Let's transform this fear or weakness in something powerful and in your strengths. No? Don says here, interesting take, Wanderley. I've not heard discussion of talents in terms of fear. I learned something new. There you go, my friend. You were spot on today. He's my friend. Yeah. Yeah. And this is the point. And the question is, gifts. You're saying, but what gifts? Life is a gift. If you don't value life as a gift, okay, you may have your reasons why. And if we start, okay, you can start to list a lot of things why life is not a beautiful thing for you. Okay, but my invitation to you who don't think life is a gift is write down all these reasons why you think life is not a gift for you, and then work each reason. Question, why I'm thinking like this? Why I have this thought? Why I needed to overcome this? And look for your answers. But do not leave any questions without an answer. Answer them at all. We have the opportunity here, not to change the world, but to change ourselves. Again, what I said, I don't know, 2 or 3 lives before, today is the past from tomorrow. So, if you don't start to work today, those fears, I know it's sad. No, we are losing people, closed ones. Now COVID is getting closer to us because some time ago it was happening to someone else, but now it's happening to people surrounding us. And we are seeing, I lost friends. Wanderley perhaps lost some friends as well.
Yep.
And it's here. It's here. And it's not because we are losing friends we can say, oh, life is not a gift. It is a gift. And then we go to the first principle of the Spiritism. Life do not have an end. Okay? Here is the moment when we need to work our fears, because when we are in the spiritual world, we are acquiring knowledge. We are acquiring materials to put this in practice when we are incarnated. Why we need to incarnate? To work those fears. Because we were fearless. Why we need to incarnate? That's the purpose. Then I don't see any purpose. But if I have a fear, I'm afraid of something. I'm afraid to become poor. I'm afraid to become rich. I'm afraid to kill someone. I'm afraid to give another step. I'm afraid to change my job. I'm afraid to whatever afraid you are. You need to work. You need to value yourself. No, how many talented people, they are still working, they are not leaving their job because they are feared to run their own business. And they are very talented. They just have the fear to go. But I don't know, if you are secure in what you are doing, if you feel comfortable in what you're doing, why do you not put in practice a plan? Okay, let's save some money right now. Let me create this saving, which will gonna support me for whatever months, and start to work. You can work like half your job, half your dream, and see how it goes, but you need to try. I'm not saying you needed to blow up everything and then, oh, I'm following my dreams. Okay, nothing against following your dreams, but follow your dream with your feet on the ground. Take measured risks. That's the point we are saying here. Wanderley and I were saying here. Measure your risks. Do not just wake up tomorrow and say, hey, I'm fearless and do whatever. No. Measure risks. Be reasonable. You know?
Steven, it's nice because you talk about reason, because the same reason Kardec applied once he was codifying Spiritism. For those who doesn't know about Kardec, Kardec is not called Allan Kardec. It's called Léon Hippolyte Denis Rivaillot. He was a French philosopher, French teacher. You know, he spoke several languages. So he had his career in France, well established in the French academia. You know, he was someone that once he starts to see with his own eyes the mediumnistic effects, and he starts to realize that effects, they had something intelligent behind, he put his life and his career, you know, in risk.
In jeopardy, yeah.
Yeah, but however, Kardec, he measured everything. He did really, I wouldn't say slow, because Kardec, for the entire codification, it took, if I'm not mistaken, around 12 or 13 years, because Kardec, he started to get in touch with Spiritism, I'd say once he was in his 50s, and he passed away, I think he was 62 or something.
Yeah,
so he only had he only had 10 or 12 years to do everything. But he measured, and he saw huge risk there in doing that. First, that everyone would think that he was crazy, leaving all his academic work behind. He would take a huge risk of people in France seeing him as a lunatic, and eventually probably he would get poor. And actually, Kardec, he had a lot of financial problems at his time. But everything, even with fear, he went. But that fear that Kardec had, happened something quite beautiful with him. He started to have some kind of faith in what he was doing, because he knew that what he was doing was important. So the certainty that what he was doing was something important make that fear work for him, make him work harder, as we said, and he was keep going despite of all the troubles. So sometimes once we have this fear, as we said, we stop, or maybe we can keep going, and life is going to be giving to us good signals to say, hey Stevan, hey Wanderley, I know you were afraid before, but keep going. and you're gonna hear that voice inside of your head. I'm talking about only spirits, but that kind of intuition say to you, keep going, you are doing. Why are you afraid? Keep going. It's difficult. Yes, of course it's difficult. If it was it, everyone would be doing that. Difficult things are only given to those who are ready. That's why in the Power of the Talents, we have two men who are more ready, who are more prepared than the other one. But it doesn't mean, because of course that does not say in the scriptures, but it doesn't mean that after, let's say, that man, the last one, Jesus would look him down and say, you are a loser. You have fear. You are afraid of life. Because Jesus understood that each one of us, we are in different levels. But once he spoke up in that parable, he had to be a bit harsher to make people to pay attention. But it would be contradictory to say that Jesus would go against that the last man. So life gives to us the difficult tasks once we are prepared. Maybe we are not yet. Everyone, when they see the work of Divaldo Franco, of Chico Xavier, or everyone when they see a great man of science, we always say, I want to be like him. But you don't know what he did to achieve that. You don't know how many hours he put on that. You don't know how many fears he had to overcome inside himself, and the fight with the world that he had to do it. And here, the mental fight. But that man, perhaps, as Stevan was saying, he lived more before. So he had more reincarnations, maybe, or maybe in the previous reincarnations, he chose better. And now he's a bit more prepared. And if you're not prepared yet, that's okay. So do as it says in the parable. Be trustful with the small things. If you are trustful, if you appreciate the small things that you have in life, life is going to give you more. Everyone wants to be a Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. No, Steve Jobs? No, come on.
Steve Jobs. But no one wants to be working their simple job, because we all want great things. But you have to understand, if you want to gain great things in life, maybe in this life or the next one, we have to be trustful, and you have to be loyal right now. Once we are prepared, life will give to us more and more and more and more. And that fear will start to vanish or being used for something else. But we have to be, the whole conversation here is be loyal, be not loyal is the wrong word, but be happy with what you have. And if you don't have more, if your neighbor has more than you, that's okay. Be happy with what you have. So many people, I don't know in America, but at least in Brazil, we see so many people with mental difficulties, physical difficulties, and they are happy with their lives. I met people who couldn't walk, who had to be eating with people giving food in their mouth, but they have a beautiful, big smile in their face. And maybe we don't have anything, we have a perfect life, and we say to ourselves, but you see that poor man, he's so happy. I'm not. And you start to compare yourself and feel guilty. Instead of trying to use that case to make you act different, you are making even worse. So if that man with no legs, no arms is happy, it's because his spirit is more prepared than yours, perhaps. And maybe you are still preparing your spirit to maybe live something like this in the future. Yeah. So we are all different, guys.
Yes. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. It's what we need to count ourselves, I just compliment, it's like Facebook. Everybody likes to see Facebook, and anybody, I want to take everyone's life, because we just see pictures, people smiling, traveling, doing good things, having fun, but nobody knows what we have to do or what we have done in order to conquer that piece of happiness. So what we have When Jesus said that happiness do not belong to this world, is because of this. We have in this life peace of happiness. And this piece of happiness, we need to enjoy as much as we can, because we need to work these fears. We need to overcome ourselves. We need to be prepared. And as Wanderley said, we need to try. Again, gifts. It's up to you to how do you see your life. But the reason because you're born, the reason because you are here today, it's make total difference. If you think it's not making difference in your life, it is making difference in someone's life. In your mom, in your dad, in your friend, or even people you don't know, but they admire you. They like you. They use you as an example. What makes the word progress example? It's not laws, it's not rules or actions. No, it's example. Example change the world. Try to be an example today. Try to be an example for yourself. Try to be an example for your daughter, your son. Or try to be an example for your neighbor who you don't know who he is, but let's start doing now. Let's respect each one's boundaries. Let's stop to judge people, to judge their behaviors. That's the point we are saying here. That's life is a gift for us. Because we're here, we can do something. So many times we said this here. I don't want to die and the spiritual world realize that I could done more and I miss opportunities and I will start to become sad and wait for my next reincarnation, which I don't know how gonna happen, how often it happens. But it's a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to have your mom, to have your dad. And if you didn't have your dad, if you didn't met your dad, or he did something bad to you, or she did something bad to you, forgive them. Forgive them, because they don't know. They don't have a point why they did this. The examples perhaps they have in the past show them they need to do this. And think about it. What example you want to give to your son, to your daughter, to your neighbor? You are the example. You are the person who could change the world. But to change the world, you need to start with yourself. This is a well-known sentence everywhere, but it is what it is. Okay, let's see if we have any more questions here. Tanya saying here, he took a pseudonym of Allan Kardec, though under instruction from spirits. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's why
I just
Allan
mentioned
Kardec.
here too fast, but just to give an idea, you know?
Yeah. Linda asking here, isn't our mission stronger than our fears?
Yeah.
It is. It is. It is, Linda. Our mission is greater than that. But what do? we concentrate ourselves in the small things. I'm not diminishing anyone's problem. You understand that? You know, we just don't see beyond the wall. We just see the wall in front of us. And sometimes, in order to see what we have beyond the walls, we need to give some step back. Give a step back. So that wall who was huge in front of you, with some step backs, is not too huge anymore. You can see, wow, this wall I can overcome. And if you go a little bit back, you can, there is that thing there. So I will face this wall and I will overcome this wall. So the lesson here is, do not have fear to give some steps back. You know? Don't say here, my biggest regrets are the opportunities I didn't accept, especially not visiting friends and relatives when I could have. I understand you. I truly say it's a regret, yes. But take this opportunity and don't do this anymore. When you have opportunity, see people. Okay, we cannot see people right now, but phone them. Call them. Hey, how are you? 2 minutes conversation. I was thinking about you. I just ringing you. Are you okay? You're fine. You're not seeing. You're not hugging. You are not looking their eyes. But phone them. Show that person that someone in the middle of the busiest day, they thought about me and he or she rang to my phone just to say hi for 1 minute. See the beauty, the gift of life we have in this. Phone to your friends, especially those who do not agree with you. Especially those who do not agree with you. Because those is teaching you some lesson. Okay? Those friends who always agree with us, they're not teaching any lesson to us. They are just with us. Perhaps you are blind and you are saying something and they agree, so it's two blinds instead of one person blind. It's two people blind. You know? So, and those who don't agree with you at least put you to think. You may not have to rethink what you are doing, but at least someone will say, hey, do you have a plan B? Don't say here,
You are breaking.
40 years ago, I'm much better now. I think I jumped one, isn't it? Yeah.
Now you're just breaking.
I'm breaking.
Now, no, but before maybe it was my internet, but yeah.
Yeah. So according to Wanderley, we often fail our missions because we choose materialism instead. Yes. It's not a matter to choose materialism, Don. It's a matter of we didn't. I don't want to be repetitive. The word is here is fear. You didn't have courage to do something, so you prefer materialism, let's say, instead. Let's go back to 19th century when Kardec started to write the Spiritism codification. The scholars at that time was materialists. So Kardec was part of a movement of materialists, but a reasonable materialist. Let's find a meaning, a reason. Let's not. And this is what happened. Like Kardec, he was up to Kardec started a serious study about the turning tables. Everyone in France, in the world, were playing with tables. They're making jokes, presentations, like magicians, everybody was hiding this. I imagine this like when you have your son birthday and you hire a clown to animate the party, But one day, Kardec was studying, Kardec was already engaged in these rational studies. Someone suggested to him to go and see, and he started to ask wise questions. He started to dig in and at the end say, hey, looks like there is something with intelligence behind those tables, because I have tested everything and it's not a joke. So Kardec had the courage to say, okay, let's thought about this. Let's have a moment of reflection about it. Yeah?
I agree. He was humble. He was very humble to say, maybe there is something here which science at that time couldn't prove.
Yeah.
He said, okay, everyone says it's impossible, but let me see with my own eyes. And if I'm asking difficult questions here, and the tables are still replying, there must have some kind of level of intelligence behind. So he was humble to ask, as Stevan said, to ask the correct questions. So what we saw in Kardec was, as Stevan said, Kardec wasn't a religious person at first, okay? He wasn't a spiritualist per se. He was much more a materialist. But once he started to see evidences that he could not say no anymore, because these evidences were in front of him, so he was humble, because some people are not humble. Some people, they have the evidence in front of them, like unfortunately, we have some people saying about the vaccine nowadays, that vaccine doesn't exist, and it's just a lie, and blah, blah, blah. So we have people like this in our time, and in the time of Kardec, we had similar people who even seen that fact, they would say, that's just someone trying to create an illusion. That's a prank. But Kardec was there. He felt, he held the table. It was in front of him. So that's why he was humble to say, I do not understand everything. Let me ask. And he asked the correct questions, That's why I think, for me, what I admire the most in Kardec was this. He was humble, because he was a man that he's supposed to not believe, but he believed it, because he saw logic on it,
Yeah.
It was quite nice.
It is. Any question, guys? Let us know. So,
Stevan, why don't you remind people about today at 9?
yes.
Why we are here?
Yeah. Today, let me see if I do have the image here. Yes, today at 9, we will have our second program, Spiritual Light. Is a more philosophical talk, not is a philosophical scientific talk. And today the question is, what if that is not the end? So it's up to you guys to make the decision if you're going to watch it, is or not. How many?
Who's going to be there tonight?
Yeah, tonight, 9 p.m. Just, I would say 45 minutes after we finish here.
But who's going to be there?
Elsa Rossi from UK, Charles Kemp from France, Nadia Girsis from Lithuania, and Dr. Vanessa Anceloni from Kardec Radio. So we're going to be there talking about a more philosophical and scientific way about the death. So if you know someone who is thinking about life is not a gift, send the message. It's on YouTube. You can see this on Kardec, YouTube and Facebook, Spiritism Ireland, YouTube and Facebook, Lithuanian Spiritism Movement, Facebook and YouTube, Buzz, which is in Britain, Facebook and YouTube. So we are streaming for more than 6 toes. So it's to reach a lot of people. That's the intention here is not gain likes, but spread the message. Yeah. Okay. So looks like there is no questions today, Wanderley.
Okay, so why don't we? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, they are full of questions and they're afraid of to write it, or we answer most of the questions. So
I hope it's the second option.
Yeah.
But Steve, I'm just going to make some announcements that we have here. So as we always say, if anyone wants to know a little bit more about Spiritism, if they want to study a little bit deeper the Spirit's book, you guys can please send an email to us at spiritismisland@gmail.com. We have Zoom studies every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with Tanya Moore. She's one of the coordinators, and Neide Mota. They're coordinating the studies. So please, guys, if you want to join this study, send an email to us, and they're going to send the link to you guys. Okay? Yeah. It's quite nice because there is not only 1 or 2 people talking, but people, giving their opinions and asking, and sharing their understandings about the Spiritist book. Okay, so it's quite nice, guys. If you guys want to go, please feel free. And here we have now, yeah, I'd say that's it.
So, would you mind to do a final prayer for us?
I do. Okay, guys. So for those who feel comfortable, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes. Try to sit in a comfortable position. Try to take a deep breath. Let's be thankful for the lives that we have, for the gifts that life has given to us. But perhaps we do not have eyes to see it yet. Perhaps we are still in the mindset of believing that life is difficult. Life does not worth to be lived. Let's try to change our mindset. We are not saying that life is pure happiness, but life is full of joy for those who want to see. Life is full of love for those who want to give love first. Life is full of understanding for those who are willing to understand the people surrounding them. Life is a merchant who wants to receive and is giving also. Life is something beautiful. Life wants to receive not our material, the material things that we have, but a good smile, a good thought, a good action. That's the price which life asks us. Nothing expensive, but things from the heart. Let's be able, or let's try at least, instead of keep asking, to try to give more of those things to the people surrounding us, and perhaps to those that we don't know. Because as Saint Francis said to us, is in pardoning that we're going to be forgiven, that we're going to receive forgiveness. Is giving forgiveness, that forgiveness will come to us. Thank God, and so be it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Wanderley. Once more, thank you very much for your time. And I see you now in 45 minutes. Thank you very much.
See you, guys.
Have a good weekend.
See you. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.